Hello there, everyone. My name is Matthew, but most people call me Boshy, and I'm here to talk to you all about the Odyssey, Christopher Nolan's new directorial feature. I've seen it just earlier today, and yeah, let's talk about it. So initially, I was a bit skeptical at first of Christopher Nolan making this type of movie, making a movie about a subject matter like the Odyssey, because the genres that he's used to working with are like science fiction thrillers or epic war films like Dunkirk or Oppenheimer. So I wasn't sure how he was going to handle an epic fantasy film like the Odyssey. But especially when they released trailers and promotional material for this film, I was left a bit skeptical about it, to say the least, because pardon me, sorry, I assumed that it was going to be like any other type of epic large fantasy film with the characters speaking very formally and with more formal and realistic dialogue to that time frame. But apparently not this movie. This movie features dialogue that might as well be delivered by Americans in Manhattan. is what I said when I first watched the trailer, and I didn't think that it was an appropriate way to, bring characters across in that specific setting. However, and this is a big however, and we will, and it didn't really bother me that much when I watched the movie, and I'll come back to that in a little bit. I'm just talking about my doubts of the film before I get into the main review. Just to give you guys a bit of context. So I was a bit skeptical because of the fact that I didn't think it was the right way to portray such characters in such an informal and casual way by having them possess American accents, speaking in formal terminology such as Tom Holland in the trailer when he says, "My dad is coming home." I found that to be like a little bit gross. You would probably say something like, "My father will return," or "My father is coming home." I guess that's nitpicky now, but obviously that's something I'm going to get to later in the video. I was also a bit weirded out by some of the casting decisions that they chose for this movie. And not in the "oh, Helen of Troy isn't black" Lupita Nyong'o situation. No, I don't really care about that. That's not really my style. That's not what I'm looking for in a film like The Odyssey, especially not like a modern version of it, which I guess answers the first question to a degree. It fits what modern audiences are expecting from older movies nowadays, which makes sense. It just doesn't really apply to me. So I had my doubts on whether the dialogue and the accents were going to work with this story, considering it's set in ancient Greece a long time ago, thousands of years ago. Obviously, I'm aware that it's a fictional story. I've read the Odyssey before. Not every translation and not the original work, obviously, because parts of it are missing. So we can't really say what the original version of this story was. But I have read translations of the Odyssey, i.e. the Robert Fagles one, a bunch of others that I probably can't name, but I've definitely read the Robert Fagles one, and I've read a lot of translated works by Robert Fagles, but I digress. I also found some of the casting decisions, particularly Tom Holland as Telemachus, to be very, very strange, considering that Tom Holland isn't the type of person I would have expected to take on a role as serious and not Peter Parker or not Spider-Man. Like I'm trying to explain it the best way I can. His character is nothing like that of Peter Parker that he's or other characters that he's played before. Telemachus is quite a grand character to play. There's a lot of weight on his shoulders. He's the heir to the throne of Ithaca. I didn't think he was the right person to play that role. Obviously, there were a bunch of other casting decisions that I thought were quite weird, that weren't necessarily evident in the trailer, but more evident really in the actual film, which I will get to. So now with all that context out of the way, what do I think about the actual film? Well, I actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, yeah, this is a very good film. Is it a masterpiece? No, it's not a masterpiece. I think that there are definitely better Christopher Nolan movies out there that you can go and watch and really get sucked into the world and feel like you're taking away something deep from the experience. I don't think that the Odyssey provides that, or at least this rendition of the Odyssey, I don't think it provides the audience with that. This is just a more this is a movie where you don't really need to ponder too much on the ending, stuff like that. Obviously there is stuff to ponder about because it's a Christopher Nolan movie, but I do not think that it's as impactful or as clever as some of Nolan's other films, and it's not as strong as some of Nolan's other films, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be, because he already has enough crackers in his filmography for us to watch and admire and such like. But I think this is a very good film. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10 on my Letterboxd, which you should check out. More in the description below and at the end of the video. But I digress. What did I think of the actual movie? Well, I love the sense of world building that this movie presents you with. I love how it portrays Ithaca. I love how it portrays the different creatures, the different monsters. I love how they portrayed the Cyclops. I think his design being very distorted. I also loved the Cersei scene, the one where all the soldiers turn into pigs. I thought that was fantastic. I thought that was a great visual interpretation of how these soldiers getting turned into pigs should look like and should appear on screen. I think that was absolutely fantastic how they were able to do that, and it's incredible the technology that we have, that we can literally mold their faces into the faces of pigs. I think that was a stroke of genius, like how the visual effects department managed to pull that off. what I also really enjoy the sets and the costumes. They really do actually transport you into that world, which kind of helps make the accents and the dialogue of this movie feel like a nitpick thing in comparison, because this movie is fantastic at making you feel like you're in Ithaca minus the American accents that you hear across the film. Obviously, people are some of the actors in the film are a bit more, I want to say, formal with the way that they speak, specifically Anne Hathaway and Lupita Nyong'o and some of the other characters. They spoke a bit more formally, and I enjoyed that. I liked that. It looked like they took on the feedback that they probably heard from some test screenings of early versions of the film, and probably just thought to themselves, right, maybe we need to portray ourselves a bit more like royalty here. Maybe we need to, be a bit more formal here. And I like that. That was awesome. I like that. I also really enjoyed how they were able to color grade every set. Like, you can't see it in the trailer and some of the promotional material. It kind of looks a bit dark, but in my theater or cinema, wherever you live, where this was being shown, it was a lot more bright. It was a lot brighter, and that definitely did help things. We definitely were able to see more, and that definitely helped in terms of the visual aspect of the film. A lot of people complain about how the costumes aren't accurate and how some of the sets don't feel right to ancient Greece. That doesn't really bother me. Taking liberties with the text is absolutely fine, because it's not really a real story. Sure, the Trojan War was a real battle, but the Odyssey in turn isn't actually based on real events. It's based on a story that Homer told, and so I think we can let it. I think we can let it slide. Having sets and costumes that are just made to be for show and for style, and just to look as extravagant as they possibly can. Also, additionally on that point, Agamemnon's costume is absolutely incredible, and it helps Benny Safdie do the best aura farming I think I've ever seen anybody do in a movie all year. And not all the costumes were actually great. They fit the characters very well. They must have put a lot of thought into it. What I'm meaning to say, what I'm prefacing with me saying this, is that Christopher Nolan is a damn good director, and from a directorial and technical standpoint, this film is fantastic. But now herein lies the rub. Some of the negatives about the film. Now, I said that I reviewed this on Letterboxd. Well, not reviewed it, I just put a score up, because I didn't really write a review for this one. I didn't really have anything else to say that I would be saying on this channel right here. I think from a writing standpoint, there were a few things that I would personally tweak. Like, also it exemplifies how you specifically why she takes the form that she does, which I think was absolutely like I said before, I think that was absolutely fantastic. I just wish that we just saw a bit more of her, to be honest. Also, what I picked up on when I was watching the movie, and I'm thinking about it again now, is the fact that Odysseus's men immediately assume that the Cyclops was the son of Poseidon the minute that they get away from the Cyclops, which I thought was a bit bizarre, and a bit of a weird, it feels like strange to jump immediately to that, instead of just fearing for instead of just questioning, oh, what the hell was that thing? They immediately assume that it is a work of the gods, which I think is a bit weird. Like, they instantly jump to that. Like, would they not have like a level of conversation about what the hell was that thing that we just saw, before they questioned whether it was a work of the gods? I don't know. It's been a while since I've read the Odyssey, as you can probably tell, but I do remember quite a bit about the story. So I'm just taking a wild guess here. Having said all those things, oh wait, hang on, no, there's one more thing. I forgot. There was one more vital thing that I feel that I have to share with you. Yeah, it's just a tiny bit too long. Just the tiniest bit too long. Obviously, everything in this film is necessary. They could have trimmed down some little bits here and there, hypothetically, to make it shorter, but I think it would have hindered everybody else's enjoyment of the movie. I get that Christopher Nolan likes making 3-hour-long films, and that's perfectly fine. He can make them if he wants. I'm not opposed to 3-hour-long films. I just think, I personally feel that a movie should be as long as however the plot dictates it so, and I think some instances of this story could have been trimmed down slightly, in my opinion, but hey, that's probably why I'm not working in the movies. I think that's all the flaws I have to say about this movie. There are little nitpicky things, I'm sure. I still really like this movie. Very good film. I think Matt Damon and most of the rest of the cast were fantastic. Lupita Nyong'o, I know, got a lot of controversy for playing Helen of Troy, and people saying, oh, Helen of Troy's not black and everything like that. I don't really care about that, as long as she just does a good job as an actress, and I believed her for the short amount of time she was on screen. Sinon, played by Elliot Page, was fantastic in the film. Obviously, I was quite happy that he was killed off in the first few minutes of the film. Oh, sorry, spoiler. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh dear, sorry. Spoiler alert, you can skip to this time code to in the description down below. There's a time code, you can skip to that to avoid any spoilers, because most of the positives I have to say about the film are in spoiler territory as well, but I will put time codes in the description, don't worry guys. I thought Anne Hathaway was brilliant. I thought Robert Pattinson was actually quite underrated as this little sleazeball of a suitor. He really does do a good job of getting under your skin and making you feel like, oh, I really want to punch that guy. He's very good at making you hate him, and that is the sign of a fantastic antagonist. So yeah, props to Robert Pattinson in that respect. Samantha Morton, obviously fantastic actress, was great in this as well. Hemish Patel was really good as well. sorry that rhymed. Who else? Who else was very good in their role? Even though Benny Safdie, who plays Agamemnon, doesn't really say any lines of dialogue until the underworld scene, I think he does good enough. Just aura farming, just standing there as the men run into Troy, going like, "Ah!" I just love that scene. He's just stood there menacingly. Yeah, I think he was fantastic. What else? The acting mostly across the board. Obviously, there were a few, mishaps here and there specifically with the gods. Athena and Calypso, played by Zendaya and Charlize Theron. They were like blank canvases across the course of the film, and I just thought to myself, can you give me something here? But I think that might also be to do with the writing, which also does have its flaws across the film. Yeah, love the look of the film, love the visual effects, love the cinematography. Oh, brilliant cinematography. I mean, the film was filmed fully on IMAX. The very first film in history to be fully filmed on IMAX, which is obviously making cinema history, and that is fantastic for the people making the Odyssey, and that's brilliant. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about it. It's there were a lot of aspects that I could enjoy visually, acting wise, in terms of an adaptational change, even more. The writing, adapting this actually worked a lot better than I was expecting it to work. I love the music of the film. Ludwig Göransson is a great composer. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about this film. I give it an 8 out of 10. You can check out my Letterboxd to see any more reviews that you want to see, and see more films that I've reviewed. So, yeah, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you next time. Hey, what's the camera still doing here? Was there something I forgot to talk about? Oh, right, you want to find out about the Travis Scott performance and the song at the end? Well, I hated them. I hated Travis Scott. I was glad that he wasn't in the movie that much. I was glad he was a bard, and I hated the song. I wanted to leave that theatre almost immediately because that song sucked. It really did. There you go. That's my final note. On the Odyssey. Travis Scott was terrible. Wanted him to leave every single scene. Yeah.